So welcome to our Thursday evening session of breathing practices, meditation, relaxation. Just a second, Janet's just coming in now. So let's just take a moment to arrive. So if you've had a rush to get here, just feeling the ground that you're sitting on, or if you're sitting in a chair, feeling the chair that you're sitting in, and just taking a moment to connect with whatever it is that you're sitting on. Just taking a moment as well, just to notice any sounds that you can hear. So when we connect with our senses, it automatically brings us into the here and now, so that we're fully aware of what's going on around us. We've dropped out of our thinking, analysing mind into our physical body. And then you can just take a moment to notice how you're feeling today, whether the effects of your day has had an effect on your physicality, your body. Just noticing your breath, just noticing how it is tonight. I'm not asking you to change anything at the moment, just feeling the breath. And then we're just going to begin by taking three breaths. And we'll use our arms to help us. So let our arms come out by the side of the body. And when you're ready, let's take a breath in. Let's reach out to the side and then reach up. Then on the exhale, just drawing your hands to the heart space. And do 2 more in your own time. Just breathing in and breathing out. And again, take another breath in and breathing out. And as we settle our hands into our lap, as we're sitting, just taking a moment just to notice where your head is it's supported by your skeleton, by your bones of your spine. And just taking a moment just to ease the head just from side to side. Just easing out any tightness or tension. When we come back to the centre, we can have a look up towards the ceiling and down towards the floor. And then back up again. And down. And as your chin comes down this time, let's just take the chin over towards the right shoulder. And then back over towards the left. And we'll do that once more, just going over towards the right. And then back down towards the left. If it feels comfortable to look all the way up, you can take the head in a circle, and if that makes you feel dizzy or uncomfortable, then leave this. Circle out. And then as we reposition the head back, let's just take a side bend with the neck, with the head and the neck, and just have a little yes and a no. Little yes and a no. We can bring the head back up again. We can go over to the other side. And again, just a yes and a no. And then as we come back, we'll make sure that we haven't let the head drop forward or the shoulders drop forward, and we'll keep the spine in an upright position. So to recap what I said last week about this, first of all, the diaphragmatic breathing that we do, where we're breathing using the diaphragm. So we've got this connection between the diaphragm, the muscle, that separates your thoracic cavity from your abdominal cavity. And then we've also got a pelvic diaphragm that is connected with your pelvic floor. So when we breathe in, the diaphragms move down, they work together. And when we breathe out, the diaphragms come up. So on that in-breath, that means we're pushing the abdominal organs out of the way. So last week, I mentioned that, the lungs are expanding and contracting with the air. So that's opening and closing. Remember that ball? Let me just get my balls. So this is the expansion all the way in the body with the lungs. But because the abdominal cavity, we're not breathing into that, it's almost like a water balloon. So when we're breathing in and the diaphragm pulls down onto the lungs so the lungs can fill up, the abdominal cavity gets squashed. And this is the pelvic floor, and this is the pelvic floor diaphragm, and this is the abdomen, the diaphragm up here. And we're just gently pressing. So this is your abdominal cavity pushing forward. So that's kind of like a visual. And then also we did some diaphragmatic breathing with awareness of a pelvic floor. So we were actually contracting the pelvic floor when we were breathing out, because we were thinking about the health of the pelvic floor. So we don't want a tight pelvic floor all the time. We want a strong and flexible pelvic floor. And if a posture isn't in the right alignment, then we're not getting the connection with the pelvic floor and the rest of the body. So very often when the breathing's a little bit out, the pelvic floor can suffer. And I found this picture this week to kind of, I don't know if you can see it, but it kind of shows what I'm talking about. So these are the diaphragms. So if your upper diaphragm is in alignment with the lower diaphragm, then they're working together. But if the rib cage is tipped up a little bit, and look at the pelvis, if the pelvis is tipped forward a little bit, those diaphragms are not in alignment with each other. So this is where the pelvis and the position of the pelvis really makes a difference. So very often in yoga, and we've done it this week, I know some of you don't come to my classes, but we've been moving the pelvis, tipping it forward and tipping it backwards, being aware of where the hips are. And this is, if we're constantly living in this tipped forward pelvis all the time, and the muscles surround it are stiff and tight, and we can't move the pelvis, then our breathing's going to be affected. So let's just think about this when we're sitting. So if you're choosing to sit tonight, just think about these positions of your diaphragms. Because we sat last week and we sat on a chair, because what tends to happen when you're sitting on the floor, we naturally kind of maybe even go the opposite way. We kind of tipping forwards. So unless your posture is in a really good alignment, sitting up position, maybe better sitting on the edge of a chair. But also I want to try it lying down. So this is what we're going to do today. So if you bring yourself into a lying down position, and then as you come down onto your mat, you may first of all discover you want something under your head. And then you can have your knees bent or your legs straight. But what I want you to be aware of is, where's your pelvis? So have a little play of those pelvic tilts that we did this week. Just take a moment first of all to find a comfortable position. So have a little wriggle about if you need to. And then if you place your hands on top of your pelvis, I'm just going to kind of stand up so you can see, maybe standing sideways, make it be a bit more difficult. We can tip the pelvis forward and then we can roll it back. And really, we don't want to be in any of these exaggerated positions all the time. We want the pelvis to be neutral. So when you're lying down on the floor, can you find a neutral pelvis? What we're also looking for as well is where is your rib cage? Because if we've got an excessive curve in your lumbar spine, or those muscles are tight in your lumbar spine, then that might push your ribs forward. So what we're looking for is the pelvis, the rib cage not pushing out and the pelvis not tipping forward. So if we can bring everything back into alignment, so the ribs are down and the pelvis is neutral, then although we can't see inside ourselves, we are presuming that those diaphragms are level. So hopefully you've got yourself into that position, because I can't see you, so I don't know. And then what I want you to think about is cast your mind back several weeks when we did the flower breath. We got our fingers, the fingertips on the thumbs. So just the first practice I'd like you to think about doing is when you're breathing in, just allowing everything to relax. So your abdomen is relaxing, and we're going to open the fingers. So when you're breathing in, you're bringing a sense of expansion. And then when you're breathing out, can you start to bring the fingertips together and feel that sense of contraction in the body? I'm not asking you to contract your pelvic floor, but I just want your awareness of the whole of the torso, and that includes the pelvic floor. So just do this a few times. So on the in-breath, we're letting the fingers open, and on the out-breath, we're drawing them back. Breathing in and out through your nose. So the first question to ask yourself is, can you allow your abdomen to relax when you're breathing in? And can you feel your abdominal muscles pulling back in when you breathe out? And you feel your ribs expanding in the back of the body. And if you're lying on the floor, you'll probably be more aware of the back of the body and pushing into the ground when you're breathing in. And then releasing when you're breathing out. And without changing anything, without forcing anything, can you feel any movement in your pelvic floor when you're breathing in? Is there any sense of softening? Those pelvic floor muscles that are like a hammock underneath your body, we've all got them, men, women, we've all got those pelvic floor muscles. And you have a sense of release as you're breathing in. You know, it is a really, really subtle movement. That's why we're going to exaggerate it in a minute. So we've got this feeling of expansion in our torso. We've got the feeling of expansion in our hands. Maybe you've got this feeling of expansion in the whole of your body when you're breathing in, and a sense of contraction when you're breathing out. But now, can you really take your attention into your pelvic floor? So allow it to relax as you're breathing in. And then as you're breathing out, basically thinking about drawing up from the inside. So pulling up from the inside. So breathing in, we're relaxing it. We're allowing it to widen and spread. And on the out breath, we're starting to squeeze and lift. Can you remember I described it almost like a jellyfish. When you're breathing in, those jellyfish, all those little tentacles are just nice and wide, but when we're breathing out, it's almost like that jellyfish is going to go pulling up. Think about it going up to the surface of the water. It's almost like pulling up, and then breathing in, it's sinking back down again. And then breathing out, pulling up. Can you feel it in your pelvic floor? I'm not asking you to pull up, and really start tucking your tail under. It's not about moving the pelvis. It's just a subtle movement. So just thinking about your pelvic floor relaxing as you're breathing in. And sucking and drawing up as you're breathing out. And we're just bringing more attention, more awareness to it. And we're physically just drawing up and in without drawing up and in too much that your pelvis moves. And then finish the one that you're doing. Just take a moment just to notice your breath. And are you more aware, or maybe not, there's no right or wrong answer to this, are you more aware now of your pelvic floor and the relationship to your breath and the pelvic floor? Or are you still having to think about it? It's all about practice, really. It's like anything else. We have to do it several times before it really sort of sinks in sometimes. So what I'd like you to do now is to make your way back up into sitting. And again, making sure that your pelvis isn't tipping backwards. So we don't want to be sitting on the back of the pelvis. We want to be sitting right up on your sitting bones. And we want the ribs. We don't want the ribs to be pushing forward. We want the ribs to be, we don't want them to be pushing back either. We just want them to be moving down. So when you're there, just taking a moment now to do the same breathing, but this time we're going to make a sound. So when we're making that sound, we're going to make an ah sound as we're breathing out. So thinking about, as you're breathing out, can you feel your pelvic floor starting to lift up? And just slightly exaggerate it, okay? So you don't have to follow my breath, but I will be doing it, but you do it by yourself. So we're breathing in through the nose. And we're just breathing out through, making the sound of ah. 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 Remember, we want to relax as we're breathing in. Ah. Do two more. Ah. Ah. And then just allow your body to come back to its natural breathing. And just notice what you feel. So of course, when we're breathing out, we're lengthening that exhale. So it's taking us maybe longer for the diaphragm to come up to empty the lungs. And of course, the pelvic floor is coming up with the thoracic diaphragm. And so again, we're strengthening as we're breathing out, and we're relaxing, bringing that sense of flexibility as we're breathing in. So something for you to practice again next week. We've all got time. We're always breathing. So whatever you're doing, you can always just think about, you know, how your body works together. Everything's in synergy with everything else, given the right conditions. So yeah, have a play with that and see how you get on. Okay, we're going to move on now. I'm just going to have a quick sip of water, and then we'll move on to the meditation. So just making sure that you're in a comfortable seated position. So one of the things that yoga teaches us, if we read the 8 limbs of yoga, the very final limb of yoga is samadhi. And it is said to be this bliss state. And it's said to be, this is our natural way of being. This is how we all are, but we don't always notice it because we've layered things on top of it. And so what yoga's telling us is that we don't need to look outside ourselves for anything. Everything is within us, but it's finding it. So this bliss state, or this samadhi, if you like, sometimes in yoga it's called the Annamaya Kosha. There's like this idea that we've got different levels of being in our bodies, these different energy levels, and this is the very deepest, like this bliss center. So there's nothing, yoga tells us, there's nothing that we need to fix. We're already perfect. We're already whole. And it isn't anything that we can influence, because we've already got it. And we can't really describe it. You know, there's something called neti, not this, not that. It's just something that we experience. And so hopefully with our meditation and with yoga as well, this is where we start to connect with these different layers of our being, and this sense of bliss and maybe contentment. And a lot of the the old wisdom teachers, not necessarily yoga teachers, but they're all kind of saying the same thing. I've got a couple of quotes here. The first one is from Alan Watts. I don't know if you've ever listened to any of his teachings, but he says, the meaning of life is simply to be alive. So there's nothing that we need to do. There's nothing we need to change. Very often, you know, if you read these self-help books, they always say, find your purpose. You know, to be happy, you need to find your purpose. You need to find your dharma in life. And actually, we just need to be alive. And then another saying as well, which I love actually, from Krishnamurti, and he says, the secret to life is that it doesn't matter what happens. And yet we're so transfixed, aren't we, on wanting to think things to happen a certain way. And it's this idea of ease, this idea, we talked last week, didn't we, about letting go of ease, finding the ease. And it's not about wanting to change things and controlling things to the way we want them to be. It's just about being okay with what is. And the last quote is, I don't know who said this actually, but it's talking about contentment, which is pretty much the similar thing. We talk about it in yoga, santosha, contentment, and that's one of the niyamas. And contentment is the spiritual crown. It's not about having what you want, it's about wanting what you have. So again, it's not looking out there for contentment, it's not looking out there for bliss, it's not looking out there for calm and quiet. It's actually, we've already got it. And hopefully we'll find it in meditation. But if we don't, it doesn't matter. So we're just going to be happy with whatever happens, no expectations. So I thought we'd do a mantra tonight, and the mantra is Sat Chit Ananda. So Sat Chit Ananda, we can either say it as just keep repeating it. You could say it out loud if you wanted to. I'm going to say it in my head. And just take it nice and slowly. We're not adding it to the breath, so we're not breathing in and saying one word and breathing out saying another. We're just letting the breath come. But it's truth, it means truth, consciousness, and bliss. And then by using this mantra and focusing on the words, hopefully we'll be stopping that monkey mind going here, there, and everywhere, and all those stories that take us off track. And hopefully, when we let go of the mantra, then maybe, who knows, there might be a feeling of a sense of calm and bliss in the body. Okay, so let's take a moment to feel the ground. Just allowing your body to be supported by your pelvis on your chair or the ground. Just allowing your shoulders to relax and your arms to rest in a comfortable position. So shoulders are nice and wide. Lips are gently touching. Chin slightly back, crown of the head lifting upwards. So we've got this feeling, this sense of moving and growing upwards with the spine. But also a sense of ease in the body. So as we just connect with our breathing, is there anything we can release as we're breathing out? Is there any tension in the jaw or the tongue or around the eyes or the shoulders? Is there anything we can find that ease? Moments, if there's any tightness or tension that's crept into your body, just on your next out breath, can you just let it go? And the mantra that we're going to use is Sat Chit Ananda. And now we're going to let those words go. And just take a moment or two just to focus on your breath. And now, as we bring this meditation to a close, just noticing how you feel. And if you can remember the words of Krishnamurti, it really doesn't matter what happens. The meditation is the one that we've done. Okay. So now, as we move to our third practice of the night, if you want to just have a stretch of your legs or grab a little sip of water. And then also anything that you need to make yourself nice and comfortable, whether you're staying seated in a chair or whether you're bringing yourself back down onto the ground. And when you do come down onto the ground, just take a moment to have a wriggle about. You know, don't just come straight down to lie. You might want to draw your knees in, have a little rock from side to side, just to ease out any tightness or tension, if, as we have been sitting for the last 20-25 minutes. And now, as you're bringing yourself into the relaxation pose, have you chosen the right position for your own body today? So it doesn't have to be lying down on your back, it can be on your side, it can be on your stomach. And just feeling the ground giving you this sense of support and safety. So taking this time now just to come home to yourself. Remembering that home is this state of samadhi. So welcome home to yourself. It's a time now to rest and pause. And however you're feeling, whatever you've been doing today, however you show up, everything is welcome in this space of our yoga relaxation. Whether you're ready to rest or whether you're resisting rest tonight or whether you're full of energy, all is welcome. All is welcome. Allowing everything to be as it is, not wanting anything to be any different than as it is right now. With all those sounds and sights around us. You may have your eyes open or you may have your eyes closed, it's your choice. But everything that arises is welcome. So listening to the wisdom of your body now. Is there anything else required as you begin to settle and rest? And you get a little bit more comfortable than you already are? So there's nobody to please, there's nothing that you need to do right now. Just being here in this space is enough. You are enough. So just being aware of the breath coming into the body and the breath going out of the body. And just noticing the flow of the breath, the rhythm of the breath, flowing in and flowing out. And then letting your awareness travel now, travel around the body. So moving your awareness, moving your attention down into your right foot. And specifically your right big toe. Allowing whatever's there to be there. Just noticing what you can feel, if anything, in your right big toe. Then become aware of the other four toes, all on your right foot. And you become aware of the top of your foot and the sole of the foot and the foot as a whole, the whole of the right foot. Just bring it into your awareness. And then taking that awareness up into the right calf and your shin. And just being present with what's there. You're not making anything up if nothing's there. Just noticing sensation with kindness, with an inquiring mind. Being aware of your right knee and then your right thigh, front, back, sides of the thighs. Just that right side. So can you bring into your attention now the whole of your right leg? So let's switch now. Let's switch to the left big toe. Noticing what's present there, if anything. And then be aware of the other 4 toes on your left foot. And the top of the foot and the sole of the foot. So being aware of the whole of your left foot. Bringing your attention into the left calf and the shin. Just noticing what's there. And then bringing that attention into your knee and the thigh, front, back, sides, all on that left side. And then bringing the whole of the left leg into your attention now, into your awareness. The whole of the left leg. Let's switch now back to the right side of the body and your right thumb. And then the fingers on your right hand. The palm of the hand and the back of the hand. And the whole right hand together. Moving your attention into your forearm, elbow, upper arm. To the top of the shoulder. And then we'll switch to the left side of the body. The left thumb. And the 4 fingers on your left hand. Palm of the hands, the back of the hand. Your forearms, your upper arm. And that left shoulder. The whole of the left arm. And then bringing the both arms in your attention, your awareness together. So now moving your attention back down to your pelvis, your abdomen, sacrum, the back, the lower part of your back. Just noticing what's present there. And then the right side of the body. And then switching to the left side of the body. Both sides together. And now being aware of the front of your torso. Abdomen, chest, front of the shoulders. Just noticing what's there. And then switching to the back of the body, the buttocks, the lower part of your back, mid-back, upper back, between the shoulder blades and then the shoulder blades, and the back of the shoulders. Just noticing, bringing your attention there, and allowing what's there just to be. Now bringing your attention to the neck, the back of the neck, the front of the neck, the sides of the neck. Just notice what's there. And then allowing your attention to travel up the back of the neck, the back of the head, scalp, and then the forehead. Allowing your attention to go to your right eyebrow and then the left eyebrow. Wandering back to the right eye and then the left eye. And the right cheek and the left cheek. And your right ear and your left ear. And the nose and the mouth. And then bringing the whole of your face into your awareness now. Let's be aware of the whole of the body now. The whole of the body. Resting, settling, releasing, relaxing. Front of the body, the back of the body, the right side, the left side. All parts of the body together. Be aware of the body breathing. Just noticing that natural rhythm once more of the breath. So listening to your body with kindness. Your body is being heard. Allowing yourself a few more moments to settle into this awareness. Awareness of the whole body being heard, being listened to. Feeling safe, feeling calm, feeling supported. Body at rest now. Just listening in, listening in. And now as this relaxation is coming to an end, just take a moment to breathe in a little bit deeper now. And let that breath go. And then as you take your attention back into your hands, just wriggling your fingers. And then rubbing the palms together. Just taking a moment to feel the warmth beneath your hands and covering your eyes. Just taking a few breaths there as you allow your eyes to rest. Calming the eyes. And then as you allow your arms to just move away from your face, just allow your eyes to open and have a look around the room where you are. Just beginning to notice those sights and sounds once more. As once more we reconnect with our senses. Noticing what you can feel in your body. Being aware that you've got clothes against your skin. And then as we tune back into the wisdom of the body, what does your body need right now? What do you need to do to bring some movement back into your body? So whatever your body's asking for, whether that's a stretch or a yawn or a twist or a hug. And then when you're ready, you can bring yourself back in your own way, in your own time to sit. So there's no rush to get back. So now as we find that sitting position once more, let's just tune in to notice how we feel now. Does it compare to when we first sat down on a mat 60 minutes ago? Okay. So let's bring the class to a close. Let's bring our arms down by the side of the body. And then as we breathe in, we can bring our palms to meet above the head. And then as we breathe out, we can draw our hands to the heart space. Namaste, thank you. Thank you for joining me tonight. And I'm sorry for those technical difficulties in the meditation. So, yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the weekend, and I will see you again next week. Thank you.